What is up, guys? We're back. Had some technical issues there. Apparently, fair use don't mean anything anymore. It's okay though. I mean, I'll appeal it and we'll get that portion of the episode back up, or at least edited to be back up for your enjoyment. And I will merge it with this one, just create an edited piece there for y'all. But with that being said, where did we leave off? We took intermission. We talked about the games. Let's talk about other things that's happened, like Texas A&M.
Oh gosh,
losing to Appalachia. I want to tell you what my favorite part of that is. They had a pep rally at Texas A&M. Did you see this?
So I caught the tail end of something on the radio today, but no, I don't know enough about it.
It's cringy. I mean, it's hard to watch. But this student at A&M gets up and goes, does this? I'm from the Appalachian and I'm a hillbilly, and just makes fun of people from the mountains.
Oh,
to see Appalachian State go in and kick their ass, take their money, and guess what? Game day was going to Texas A&M next week.
I know.
Now they're going to App State. You couldn't have written a story better than that.
And App State is one of those schools that's kind of like known for doing that from time to time, like kind of like Boston College.
Yeah.
Every now and then, there's just like a little extra magic in the air for those schools. App State, I'll never forget watching them beat Michigan.
That was arguably the biggest upset in college football history because they were D2 at the time. They weren't even D1.
Yeah, App State's got a little bit of that magic. I love it. I'm not big on Jimbo Fisher. I never really was. And I felt like, what were they, 8-4 last year, and somehow managed to be number 6 in the nation to go into the season.
Well, they have the best recruiting class money can buy. And listen, NIL, it's going to be a great thing for places. They recruited top-notch talent. They had number 1 recruiting class. He better get things going soon, or it's going to be a long day for old Jimbo.
Hey, listen, best thing he could do for himself right now is suck it up and get fired because they'd owe him $90 million.
Oh, my God. So he's not going anywhere.
No, he would have. I mean, I don't know what he would have to do to get fired for $90 million. But speaking of people getting fired, while we're on the subject, what do you think of Scott Frost?
Man, what a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Like, he had so much promise going into that.
Yeah.
He had such a great coaching career at Central Florida.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, he's the man. He's the man for – and I tell you, like, didn't you all want him? Like, Tennessee was like, hey, we want Scott Frost.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't think y'all had an opening at the time, though.
I thought we were interviewing him whenever we were before we took Jeremy Pruitt.
I think so. Maybe it was. Oh, yeah, it was. He was a candidate.
Yeah.
Boy, Jeremy Pruitt wasn't that great, but I don't know.
Here's the thing, though. Just because he didn't succeed at Nebraska doesn't mean he couldn't go somewhere big. And, like, I'm not a Scott Frost fan. That's not what I'm trying to say. But just because he didn't succeed at Nebraska doesn't mean he couldn't have succeeded here or anywhere else. It's kind of like Nick Saban sucked it up in the NFL. Comes to coaching the college ranks, and he's the greatest coach we've ever seen.
Spurrier did the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's two different games, and as much as people want to deny it, the difference between Nebraska football and say you went to A&M football, I think he could win games at A&M. They've got all the money, all the resources. You got everything you could ever need there.
They got that old money.
Yeah, the only reason Jimbo Fisher isn't doing well there is because he's notorious for underachieving.
Yeah. I mean,
he did win a national championship.
He won a national championship at Florida State, which you know who his defensive coordinator was?
Who?
Mark Stoops.
Was it?
Yep. That historic defense they had that won that national title, and they had Jameis Winston.
I'm not old enough for that, John.
Well, that's okay. I'm here to tell you about it. No, but he had that great year at Florida State and a good run there. The funniest part is the Nebraska fan base thinks Stoops is going to leave Kentucky and go to Nebraska, and they're like, "What unit?" Now,
they're praying.
I'm not saying there's not jobs Mark Stoops will leave Kentucky for, but he has built this program to be a national competitor, not just in the SEC. I mean, they're going to big bowls. They're going to the New Year's Bowl this year.
If you want to deny that Kentucky is good, then you're just not watching football.
You're not watching.
And I'm a
football.
Tennessee fan. I don't want Kentucky to be good. Kentucky's good.
But the thing is like Nebraska is at one point they were good. I mean, they were the pinnacle of college football for a while in the '90s. They just haven't been there since. It's not been the same. There's a reason Wandale left there and came back to Kentucky. You know, he wasn't being put in the right position there by Scott Frost and his staff. He comes to Kentucky and look at him. He's starting his rookie season for the Giants now. You know, why would Mark Stoops leave Kentucky for Nebraska? That's a step down now. That's hard for people to wrap their minds around.
I don't see any reason he would not money, because if he wins more than 7 games, he gets another bonus.
And Kentucky, at this point, Kentucky will probably pay him what he wants.
Probably so.
They probably pay him what he wants to keep him there.
Fire Calipari and just do it with your basketball program. I know Kentucky's a basketball school.
So you know we're going to have to cover basketball in our basketball season on the show.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
So, I mean, and you're going to hear it a lot because Kentucky's good this year in basketball.
I hear that every year.
Well, here's the thing. They are. Last 3 seasons, they've not been very good. Like, they had a 9-16 season or whatever a couple years ago. COVID, they were pretty good COVID year, but then COVID hit. Last year, they went into the tournament as a favorite to hit the Final Four and lost to who the heck was it we lost to?
Last year?
Yeah.
St. Peter's.
St. Peter's. He won't say St. John's, but that wouldn't be as bad of a loss. That's a historic loss. It really is.
I know. That's why that was the first thing everybody pointed to when he talked about being a basketball school. That's what. Didn't you just lose to St. Peter's?
Yeah, it's like, and I think was Kentucky's old punter Max Duffy put out a tweet. It's like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember a football team ever losing to St. Peter's.
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't.
Who's won 4 in a row? You know, Kentucky. And people don't talk about Kentucky has the longest active bowl win streak in the nation right now. Because Alabama lost last year. Well, no, I guess the national championship don't count as a bowl game.
I'd have to check on that because a lot's changed.
Well, last year it was Kentucky and Alabama were the only 2 going for 4 in a row.
Okay.
And Kentucky's won 4 bowl games in a row, and they tried to claim that Iowa was going for their 4th in a row as well, but Kentucky beat Iowa. So it's either Kentucky has the most consecutive bowl wins right now active, or they're tied with Alabama. That's a true stat. I mean, you can look it up, but they're either the team or them in Alabama.
Producer Daniel, get on that.
Yeah, research that for us, producer Daniel.
He's not even listening. He's not even listening to his show.
Dude, you're supposed to be producing the show, Daniel. Your first day. Never mind. Just never mind. I know I'm right. Y'all can search it for yourself.
I just wanted to read it. I don't disbelieve.
That's my bad. I was in La La Land.
He's thinking about that McDonald's.
I am. I wanted chicken nuggets, but John won't let me.
Listen, he's getting pleas from the internet.
I'm gonna start a GoFundMe page if anyone wants to help me get my own chicken nuggets.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that. Anyway.
Yeah.
Scott Frost.
Scott Frost.
They say his buyout was $15 million. If they would have waited 2 weeks on October 1st, it cut in half. They could not wait to get rid of him.
Wow, they couldn't wait 2 more weeks?
Yeah, they couldn't wait 2 more weeks to save themselves $7.5 million. Now, some people said on the radio today maybe it was just their way of taking care of Nebraska's golden child. That's what that's what he was. And that was why they went out. I'll never forget when they hired him. I was working at a local high school, and one of the kids at the school was a Nebraska fan for whatever reason. I don't know. But I remember them being so excited about Scott Frost. Oh, we're going to win national championships. We're going to be better than Alabama. I mean, that's cool. He did seem like he was going to be a good coach. He was going to work out. And how wonderful to get someone who obviously has a lot of loyalty and love for the program.
Yeah.
How excited would Tennessee fans be if Peyton Manning came here to coach? But the danger in that is it's so hard to succeed at coaching. It's not near as easy as everybody wants to say. wants to believe. If you come in here and you mess it up, do you ruin that following, that relationship you had with those fans? And I think you do. I think that forever, regardless of what they try and do, Scott Frost will be known as one of the worst coaches in Nebraska history.
Yeah.
16-31 or 32 in his career there, not good. I think that's why Peyton Manning stays away from it.
Yeah.
I mean, he may have no desire to coach college football, and that's fine. I don't blame him. But I'd say that's probably part of it is what do I think I could walk into the University of Tennessee with today, and it would be ready to beat Nick Saban or Kirby Smart tomorrow? I don't know.
I don't think there's a coach. I don't know if there's a coach out there.
There's not a cheat code to be able to do that.
Do you think Urban Meyer could come back and do it again?
No.
I don't think so. Not after what happened
No.
in Jacksonville. I would have said, a few years ago, maybe Urban Meyer.
He would have to start out somewhere, kind of like Hugh Freeze is doing. Is Hugh Freeze still at Liberty?
Hugh Freeze, maybe. I'm
Last
not
I
sure.
heard, he was at Liberty.
Who was it that left Auburn and went to Central Florida, though?
That was Gus Malzahn.
Gus Malzahn, okay.
If Urban Meyer was going to make a comeback to college football like that, I think he would have to start at a small school, rebuild his reputation, show everybody that the fiasco, the shenanigans that he was doing in his free time with Jacksonville is all a mistake. It's in the past. We don't do that kind of thing anymore. It would take him a few seasons to win back that any sort of fan base to believe in him. I think it would take a while, and
it would.
For him, I wouldn't even try at this point.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, it's you need a reset.
Where would it be even worth it to coach?
I mean, honestly, if take a reset, take a year off, come back, go somewhere like Bowling Green, go somewhere like Western Kentucky, somewhere that you can win at. Because these teams let's use Western Kentucky for example. They win. They're not a bad team. They recruit well. There's a lot of good talent from Middle Tennessee and Mid Central Kentucky, and they even have that Indiana area they can recruit from. So they always get decent talent, and they always can win. So that's kind of like the Central Florida gig he had. Somewhere like that I think would be.
Yeah, I don't know where it would be worth Urban Meyer coming back.
Oh, I'm talking about Scott Frost.
Well, but
I had Scott Frost in the brain.
Scott Frost, I mean, he could come back and coach anywhere and be fine. But if you're Urban Meyer, you've coached at Florida, you've coached at Ohio State, wherever else you coach. Because I don't know, when I started listening and paying attention to college football, it was Florida.
Yeah.
Where would it be worth Urban Meyer coming back to coach? I can't think of anywhere. I can't think of anywhere that would be worth it to him.
He'd have to start small, and I don't know if he's willing to do that.
No. Now, Scott Frost, I think you could take a team like Notre Dame. Notre Dame would probably hire Scott Frost because they are in trouble right now, and they are not sure which way to turn. They're so inconsistent, they don't know which way's up.
How about the MAC this weekend, man?
Like the Sun Belt?
Or Sun Belt, I mean.
Sun Belt? The Fun Belt is what they were calling it today.
Freaking Marshall beat Notre Dame. A&M got beat by App State.
Yeah.
Nebraska. Who beat Nebraska?
Georgia Southern.
Georgia Southern. God, that's a bad loss.
Yeah.
I mean, not saying Georgia Southern's a bad team, but that's a bad
It
loss.
shouldn't happen.
Was it Nebraska 0-3 now?
I think so. They lost Northwestern and Ireland.
Yeah. What was the other?
I don't remember.
There was another big win. It was like, I don't know. There was another big win. They had 4 big wins. And, man, it was nuts. It's a crazy weekend.
It was a crazy weekend.
Kentucky's ranked number 9.
Yeah.
Top 10, baby.
Tennessee's at 15.
And deservedly so. I think they deserve to be there.
I think so, too. I think it was a hard-fought win. I kind of like talking about the other teams a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Just it's less stressful to talk about what everybody else is doing wrong.
Yeah, I know. True. That is true. It is fun to talk about our people doing wrong. So what is there? Alabama didn't impress really.
No, that was a rough game. That's the sloppiest I've ever seen an Alabama team. It was like every play, and it felt this way in the Tennessee game too, and even the Kentucky game.
Early on, especially, yeah.
It was like every play there was a flag.
Mm-hmm.
And there were several times where I heard the commentators like, that's not the flag he threw. That didn't happen.
Yeah,
That should have been waved off.
there was a lot of bad officiating.
There were some strange things going on. But yeah, Alabama didn't look good. Texas did look good. What did we find out's up with their starting QB? He's gonna be out for what, 6 weeks?
Man, it's something crazy like that. Yeah, I feel bad for him.
Their backup didn't do bad though.
No,
they
I
were
mean,
still very much in the game, but
They could have beat Alabama with a backup quarterback.
They could have, but that was Alabama's worst game anybody's ever seen, and it still beat the best we may ever see Texas.
And Bryce Young became Bryce Young when it mattered.
Yeah.
That's why he's the reigning Heisman Trophy winner. He's amazing. I mean, he's that good.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was fun to watch all the games. It was fun to see the upsets. I was glad. It's football's back. You know, that's the thing. The air's getting cooler outside.
Yeah.
There's that crisp that hits you in the face in the morning that just says football. Football's here, man.
That's almost hoodie and jean weather.
And that's my hoodie and shorts weather for me.
Well,
I never not wear shorts. But I mean, dude, it's just so exciting. And that's right. Somebody comments that SEC is king. SEC is king.
Yep.
They accept Texas A&M and Mike Leach.
What did they say? 4 SEC teams ranked in the top 10 right now.
Yeah.
And rankings right now don't really matter, but when you're teams like Kentucky and Tennessee, it's nice to see that. And I think you all do deserve number 9. I'm not saying that.
Who do y'all play this week, Kevin?
Akron.
I want to see your schedule coming up because I want to see, because I like to see y'all get in the top 10 too.
I mean, I'd love to see that. After Akron, we've got Florida at home.
That's a big one for you all.
It will be a big one. I'm not sure about it right now. It depends on if that great offense that we saw can show up with the defense that we just saw. If they show up together, then Florida's losing.
And I think you all can beat LSU.
Yeah, LSU is not really impressing.
I mean, you all can realistically 3, 4, 5. You can be 6-1 going into the Kentucky game. I mean, you play Alabama.
Yeah.
I don't see Tennessee on that level.
They would have to play out of their minds.
I mean, Alabama showed they can be vulnerable, though.
They can, but that's kind of what I was thinking that when we were watching them play Texas. I want to be the team that Alabama struggles to line up with.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like for it to happen early in the season because then they get the biggest chewing of their entire life.
Well, they have
by
Nick Saban.
Yeah, so they won't make those mistakes again. They will be as sharp as ever, whether they're playing us, Georgia, or Gibbs High School. They will never show up to a game like they did against Texas.
Hey, shout out to Gibbs High School, though. They're having a pretty good season.
They are. Have you heard about all the stuff going on with them?
No.
So their stadium went under construction, I think, last year.
They already had a pretty nice stadium.
It was fine. It was a little outdated. But they got the new artificial turf fields. Everybody in Knox County got that.
Nice. I'm from Union County. We used to mud.
Yeah,
and rock. There's still rocks in our field.
I've seen your stuff. But so they started construction on the stadium. They tore down the concrete bleachers and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it was due to supply demands or whatever, but their stadium is still not even close to being. I don't even know if it started. So every game this season is an away game. All their home games, they're having to work out with other schools.
Oh my
to go
gosh.
play. So they've played 2 home games at Central. The other night they played Central at Carson Newman as a home game. They played a home game at Webb School of Knoxville. They're calling it their no stadium tour, like the old rock bands. Like a tour. They're roughing it, but they're doing a good job this season.
Hey, good luck to Gibbs. Like I said, I went to Union County, and I just they were our rivals then, but as I'm older, I think I've swayed away from the Union County fandom, and I root for the Eagles, and sometimes I don't really root for Hall. I mean, this is more local here. A lot of y'all out there in the world probably don't even know what the heck we're talking about.
No.
This is local East Tennessee high school football, and that's something we probably will talk about some.
Probably
you know?
so. I went to school at Gibbs. I coached baseball at Halls.
Mm-hmm.
I do have to cheer for Halls baseball, but that's it.
Yeah. And Daniel's throwing a fit over there because apparently he's against Halls for some reason. Where'd you go to school at?
He's a PAL kid.
Oh, he's a PAL kid.
Hey, if it makes you feel better, I went to PAL for like 7 years. No, I hated it, but I did go for 7 years.
Yeah, and he's a co-host, and you're just a producer, so his opinion's more important.
True. True.
But no, good luck to Gibbs. I know that's your alma mater. Weren't you there when Kenny Chesney filmed his music video there?
Yeah, what was it, Boys in the Fall or something?
Yeah.
They closed off a whole hallway. Certain kids, like if you just happen to be walking around that area at the right time, they'd, hey, walk down this hallway and don't look at any cameras.
Yeah.
I think it was around Spirit Week though, if I'm not mistaken, and I was wearing a yellow shirt that said "Want a Fanta" on it,
Uh-huh.
and I had like yellow tie-dye socks on. It was tacky day.
Yeah.
So I don't think I made the music video, but yes, I was there. Good times.
Good times, eh?
Good
You were there when
times.
Kenny Chesney filmed a music video in your high school.
Yeah.
Because that's where he went, was Gibbs.
Yeah.
And but
Morgan Wallen's from there.
Morgan Wallen. He wasn't he from Cumberland Gap too? Did he move to Cumberland Gap at some point?
I think.
Or am I thinking
it
someone
was,
else? I'm thinking of Childress.
He is from somewhere over there though. I'm trying to think of the name.
I know. I think I could be wrong. So if anybody listens to Kentucky Sports Radio, the guy that hosts that show, Matt Jones, is either related to him or grew up with him or something. Like they're friends or relatives or something. Morgan Wallen, and he's from Middlesboro.
Morgan Wallen's family actually lived in my neighborhood when I was in
That's
high school.
cool.
Yeah, so he had a sister whose name I won't throw out on the internet, but she played basketball and volleyball. And during the off season, she and I would walk and run around the neighborhood together. They were wonderful people.
That's cool.
I never really knew Morgan. I'm not going to use that as my claim to fame, but I
Yeah.
did know his family, and they were all great.
That's cool.
I mean, he and I were the same grade. We played on the baseball team. He was on the basketball team. I did play one pickup basketball game with him, but I didn't know him very well at all. But I knew his family, and they were wonderful. But yeah, Gibbs High School has a few famous people out there. And Knoxville has a few. Todd
yeah.
Helton.
Yeah, Todd Helton out of Knoxville. I mean, what was the quarterback that went to Marshall?
Chad Pennington.
Chad Pennington. Yeah. He played in NFL for a while.
Played at Webb School in Knoxville. My
Yeah.
grandfather was a coach there.
So I mean, Knoxville's produced some athletes, man. I know there's more we're leaving out, but
Well, I mean, what? T. Higgins is
T.
from Oak
Higgins,
Ridge.
Oak Ridge.
Amari Rogers.
Randall Cobb.
Nolan Walker.
Powell kid. Where did he wind up going, Daniel? Does he play
He
pro?
went out west somewhere, like in Texas.
Wasn't he the one that?
He was 5-star.
Was he the defensive lineman? He went to A&M, I thought.
I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Out of Powell, you know.
Yeah, that's what I was-
5-star
I bet
athlete.
They've got a couple more that are signing, I think, pretty soon.
Tennessee needs to get these backyard kids again.
Well,
That's one thing that's hurt them. They're not getting kids out of their backyard.
Well, and they're trying to, but you know, Tennessee's still very much in that shut up and prove it kind of
Yeah.
stage. Like we can throw all the hype out there, and Josh Heupel can show up, and they can put 59 points on the board against Ball State and teams like Akron. But until you start winning these big games, like what we did this past weekend,
Mhm.
except you've got to now go bigger. You don't get to take a step down from that. Every step down that you take is magnified because of battered ball syndrome. So the very first team, like if we would have lost to Pitt, do you know what the radio show would have sounded like this morning?
Oh God.
Josh Heupel's not going to get it done. Go ahead and fire him. He's done. Well, that's not really fair. Pat Narduzzi's been the coach at Pitt for what, like 8 years or something?
Mm-hmm.
They're a good established team. They're not as good as they were last year, but they are a good solid team.
Oh yeah.
It wouldn't be fair to say, hey, he needs to lose his job now. But if you don't, when we go to play Georgia and Alabama, it's going to be the same thing. If he struggles against those teams, there are going to be people out there that call into the radio shows and they're done with Heupel.
Yeah.
It's just part of it, and it's one of the things I don't like about being a Vol fan. I'm very envious. We've talked about this a million times, but I'm envious of the way that Kentucky's athletic department has been so patient in giving Mark Stoops everything that he needs, because I feel like maybe if Butch Jones had a little more time. Now, I'm glad Butch Jones isn't here. There were a lot of things that were really embarrassing about the way he handled some situations.
Yeah.
But if they would say, hey, we're going to lock in Josh Heupel for 10 years. At this point, I'm excited about that because I hate the coaching carousels.
I know.
I hate the coaching changes. I hate the drama. I hate Mike Gundy coming to town to get a raise at Oklahoma State. I hate the Mike Leach talks. I hate
God, don't hire Mike Leach.
Got Gruden. What's Gruden's first
John
name?
Gruden.
John Gruden. I hate the John Gruden stuff. The groomers.
The groomers.
I hated the Scott Frost stuff. I hate doing that, and we do it every few years. And so if they came out tomorrow, if Danny White came out, held a press conference, said, look, Josh Heupel's brought so much life to this city, to this program. They sold like 16,000 more season tickets this year than they've ever sold.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Excitement's through the roof. If you told me tomorrow they're going to lock him into a 10-year deal, he's got 10 years to do whatever he feels like he needs to do, I would be happy about that. Because I'd like to see a little bit of sustainability and know that like he's here. And he's going to give it everything he's got for 10 years. And if it backfires and kills us, fine. But you at least can't say, well, he had one down year, right? And we fired him. Because I feel like that happens. That happens a lot.
That does happen a lot. And I think it's, you're lucky you got someone like Heupel. Now, there was some people that was mad about that hire.
Well, it wasn't sexy.
It wasn't. It was not the top pick. But he was somebody that came in and has done a brilliant job.
Yeah.
And came into a dumpster fire. He really did. The way Jeremy Pruitt left the program was in shambles. And, of course, maybe I could tell you things like, yeah, we got to worry about Tennessee, and then Heupel comes in and says, well, shit.
Well, but you all had to worry about them before, too.
Yeah, well, but we do because you all were a thorn in our side.
Yeah, for some reason.
We've been better than you for half a decade, and you still beat us every decade.
Those kids are getting paid too much. Apparently, that's you all. Or is she talking about the player? Or they
might be talking about the players. I'm not sure. I was trying to figure that one out a while ago.
I think she's talking about Daniel. I'm saying she because from a distance the picture looks like a girl, but
it does.
I can't look at it. I've probably already offended somebody else, but anyway.
If it's name, image, likeness, here's my thing. I think it's excellent. I think it needs to be mandated so people like Texas A&M aren't. And no offense, but $8 million for a freshman is a lot of money.
But who does it hurt?
It doesn't hurt the player. That's for darn sure.
Well, no, it hurts the business. You enter at your own risk. Just like I'm not even gonna try and pronounce his last name. DJ from Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't he like one of the first NIL deals with Dr. Pepper? Remember he was in the Fansville commercials. Did you see they replaced him? Bryce Young's in them now.
Oh yeah, I did see that Bryce Young was in them. That's right.
Dr. Pepper forks out all this money for DJ to be, the face of their Fansville stuff, and he sucks it up.
Mm-hmm.
So who did that hurt? That hurt Dr. Pepper. They want to throw that money at him. I say go for it. I don't care because here's what I know as a Tennessee fan. This is my professional and certified knowledge that I'm about to bestow upon you.
Guys, hang on. You know what? From now on, when Zach has one of these, we need to put a graphic up. Professional.
Yeah. I'll get a certification.
Go ahead.
Jeremy Pruitt had all the credentials in the world. The most winning success of probably any Tennessee coaching staff was during the Jeremy Pruitt era. Some of the best recruiting classes we ever put together. Jeremy Pruitt era. And we could not win any games. It doesn't matter if you've got the best recruiting class money can buy. If you can't coach those players to beat ETSU, Kentucky, if you can't coach those players up enough to beat teams like BYU and what was it, Georgia State.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't do that, I don't care how much money those kids were paid for their stupid commercials. Sorry, not stupid commercials. Go you teenagers and college kids getting in your stuff. It doesn't matter if your coach can't coach you up to beat these teams.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Texas A&M is going to have to deal with. And that's why Jimbo Fisher is, whether they can afford to pay him enough a buyout, he is on the hot seat with the fan base because he hasn't done anything but provide hope and false promise. He's the greatest 8-4 coach in the country, or the roster's the greatest 8-4 roster in the country.
What drives me crazy is them, and you know who else? South Carolina. Somehow every year they're like, South Carolina's the it team this year. They're going to be this dark horse of the SEC. We're picking them third in the SEC. Start preseason. They come in ranked in the top 25 every
That's
year.
just Carolina jackpot.
And they talk crap to Kentucky, and it's like, dude, we won 8 out of the last 9 against you, and the one that we lost is when we didn't have a quarterback. So shut up, sit down, and pet your little chicken and be quiet, South Carolina, because no one cares about you, and you're not good, and you're not going to be good. Shane Beamer can put them stupid sunglasses on and dance the little twerk all he wants to. If he can't, this is not going to work because you're South Carolina. I'm sorry. You ruined it before. You had Steve Spurrier. You had a little bit of a run. It's over now. You're back to being the doormat with Vanderbilt. Deal with it. Get over it.
And Missouri.
Missouri, Vanderbilt, South Carolina.
I will say this about South Carolina. I was surprised to see them have so many points against Arkansas.
They did. They did have a few points against Arkansas.
I didn't watch the game at all. I flipped it over at one point, and it was like 42-30.
I think Arkansas is a little overhyped. I think they're good. I think they're a good football team.
Sam Pittman's fantastic. He's great.
I love Sam Pittman, and I hope he just seems like the kind of guy you just want to have a beer with and talk football. You know what I mean? Like seems like
if there was ever a person that would make me like enjoy Arkansas, it's Sam Pittman.
I agree with you on that. I like Sam Pittman a lot, and I hope he does well there. And Arkansas, they've been competitive for. They've competed for national titles. Go back to '98. The winner of that Tennessee-Arkansas game wins the national title that year.
Who was coach back then? I don't know. '98, I was 5.
I couldn't tell you. I can't remember. I know Nolan Richardson coached their basketball team, and he used to stuff a whole towel in his mouth when he get nervous.
That's strange.
It's strange. He was a scary dude.
Brett Bielema, right? Is that his name? Bielema?
Something like it. Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
He was the coach when I started paying attention to Arkansas. And so that was it. Well.
So anywho. What?
Oh, we were talking about Arkansas.
Oh,
Brett
Arkansas.
Bielema. So Brett Bielema was the first Arkansas coach that I ever had, I ever paid any attention to, and that didn't end well. He had like moments where he was good, and then it kind of like a lot of these other failed college coaches lose to teams you have no business losing to.
Yeah.
And then before I knew it, he was gone.
Yeah.
And then Sam Pittman's been there ever since, right?
Yeah.
Was there a coach in between those?
No, I think it was him, and he had some early success. He had some good running backs and stuff.
He was on staff, wasn't he? Was he like an offensive line coach for Brett? And they just were like, here, finish out the season, and he like did so well.
He took over as interim coach and did so well they put him on. Yeah, you're right. I'm pretty sure they put him on as head coach. But yeah, Arkansas is definitely on the up. I mean, they 100%. And like you said, Sam Pittman, great guy. Mike Leach. we got to talk our trash about Mike Leach, man. Come on.
Is he ever going to do anything?
I don't know. Have they done anything this year?
Well, Will Rogers throws lights out. He had like over 400 yards passing or something the other day. He's incredible, but it's kind of just a product of being in Mike Leach's system. Is Mike Leach a good enough coach, even for the low standards of Mississippi State? They're going to keep him around for a while?
I mean, I feel like he's going to do what he does everywhere he goes. He's going to have some success. He has a little bit of explosion in offense, but he just can't ever win more than 5 to 7 games a year and gets fired. I mean, that's just kind of his routine.
Yeah, but I don't know if they'll ever fire him.
I mean, it's Mississippi State.
Their standards are so low.
They're like the losingest team in SEC history, even more than Vanderbilt.
Speaking of which, Joe Moorhead, formerly coach at Mississippi State, is coach at Akron.
Oh.
They lost to Michigan State this past weekend, like 52-0.
Yeah, y'all should destroy them. There's going to be your 60, 70-point game right there.
I mean, I think last I checked, the spread was 47. It opened at 50. I think it dropped to 47.5. I don't know if we'll put up that many. If it were my team, and I am going based off the opinions of people a lot smarter than I am,
Yeah.
you need to work on running the ball. Because if you can't run the ball on Florida the way Kentucky did, you may not have a chance because Florida's secondary is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's easily the best part of their team. You're going to have to be able to run the ball.
I don't know. That defensive line of Florida was pretty stout, man.
It is, but you've got
They
to be
had
able
2 or
to-
3 NFL guys on that line.
If you can't run, you can't pass, right? If they only have to decide to cover one, then that's it. You're a one-dimensional team.
For sure, yeah. Anyways, well, it's getting pretty late. I feel like we've done a pretty good stream tonight. Any follow-ups? Any final statements?
No, I mean, this is a nice tune-up game.
Mhm.
Fix some things after an emotional, hard-fought win at Pitt. Fix them against Akron. Get ready for Florida.
Same here. We got a nice game to step back, see where we're at. Continue to improve on our offensive line, which I was so happy to see.
Yeah.
The improvements. And dude, it's gonna be a fun season, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all gonna build up to Knoxville, and we might have to go to that game.
I would love to go to the game.
We might have to do that. We might have to go and just have a great time.
What date is that? October, November?
November sometime, isn't it?
I
Let's
don't know.
see. Let's take a look at it before we finish the game. Tennessee, Kentucky, October 29th.
October
2 days before Halloween.
Sweet.
It's the Halloween game this year. Y'all gonna wear your black jerseys for the Kentucky game?
I mean, I can't even pretend I don't have a say in that. No, I have no say in that at all. I don't know. I know we're supposed to wear smoky gray at some point this year. I know that black is still on the table. I love the black. I hope that they manage to get into black helmets too.
Yeah.
So I hope that works out. But yeah, I mean, if you're gonna wear the black, might as well make it a Halloween game.
Might as well.
Piss some people off.
Go for it. All right, guys. Thank y'all for watching, and we'll see you all next week. So tune in. I appreciate y'all being here, and go Cats.